Okay, now it is October 16, and it's a Wednesday night, and the rut is coming. So here's our topic tonight. Laws of physics versus the laws of God. Mark chapter 6, verse 49. But when they saw him walking on the sea, they thought he was a ghost and cried out. For they all saw him and were terrified. But immediately he spoke to them and said, "Take courage, I am." Is Hayah in Hebrew, meaning the existing one. "Do not be afraid." Then he got into the boat with them, and the wind stopped, and they were utterly dumbfounded. For they still hadn't understood about the loaves. Instead, their hearts were hardened. What was it about the loaves? The 5 loaves and the 2 fish. The loaves represented grace, because the number 5 in Hebrew means grace. The 2 loaves are unity between heaven and earth and God and man. He commanded the sea and the wind to stop because he is in perfect harmony with heaven, and heaven is in perfect harmony with all of its creation, which is the land and the sea. And why did Peter sink? Because he took his face off the kingdom of God and applied it to the kingdom of earth, because he was wrapped up in the laws of nature, and he sank. Matthew 21:22. And whatever you ask in prayer, trusting you shall receive. James chapter 4, verse 2. We had this one earlier in our teaching. You crave and shall not, and it shall have not. You murder and you envy, yet you cannot get it. You fight and you wage war. You do not have because you do not ask. And I could add to that, you don't ask, but you don't believe either. Because I have commanded plants to grow and watched them grow. I have commanded tornadoes to separate, watch them separate, and it was supposed to hit Hudsonville, Jenison, and I watched it go alongside both of them. Now it took out 52nd or 54th and Division, and it took out Rockford. And the next morning I had a pastor, and he said, "Did you stand in your backyard and pray for that?" Because we walked the streets of Grand Rapids together, so he knows me. He said, "You stood in your backyard and prayed that tornado would separate and miss Jenison and Hudsonville, didn't you?" I said, "Yep." He said, "You know, it hit right in the neighborhood next to my house." And I said, "That's your fault." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "You should have been in your backyard praying." He says, "You're right. I'm sorry." StreetlightGR.com/Facebook. YouTube at Streetlight Bible Study 4006. And remember to be blessed and to be a blessing. You can't have one without the other. If you are truly blessed, you've got to be a blessing to someone else. Have to be.